So Forest transfer window is seriously heating up right now. It's like buses, nothing comes around for ages, and then suddenly two at once. Welcome to your Forest transfer news. Hi guys, hope you're doing well and welcome to your latest Forest transfer news. Coming up, we'll give you the latest on the Delap story. Is it going to be a loan? Is it going to be a perm deal? We'll also tell you about another player who's being linked to Forest that I just don't get. I really don't. Spoiler alert, it's there on your screen. And we'll touch on, if we have some time, the Leeds game, because let's not forget, there is football happening tonight, as Forest will play Leeds again for the second time in like 4 days in the League Cup. So make sure you've liked, make sure you're subscribed. If you want to grab me a coffee, shout out and much love to all of you that have been doing it. You can scan that QR code or click on the link that's pinned in the comments. So, okay, let's bring you up to speed. So I'm going to make the assumption most of you have watched last night's video, where this broke and the links with Delap and Forest are looking like they're getting him. It's slightly evolved a bit and there's a few things to update you on. So Delap is away from the squad. He wasn't part of their victory last night against Fulham. And Forest are now being confirmed as the front runners, the favourites to get him. There's been links with Everton, there's been links I think with Leeds as well for Delap and a couple of other clubs. Now, what is being said is that Chelsea still value him at £50 million, which is just stupidity because he is not worth £50 million currently on what he's done at Chelsea. Now, you could make the argument that when Chelsea bought him for 30 million, he was worth more than 30 million. And that's where they're getting their valuation. The only reason they got him so cheap was because of the relegation clause. But anyway, either way, there are now talks on a loan move for Delap with an option to buy. Now, I've seen some figures being bandied around that there would be like a few million for the loan deal. Let's just call it 4 or 5 million. And then a 30 million option to buy. If that is the case, that is an absolutely fantastic deal because it's a try before you buy. And we have the option. The deals I don't like is where we just get the player and there's no option to buy. And the deals I don't like at all is the ones where we have an obligation to buy and there's some silly clause in the contract that if they play less than 15 games, then we don't have to buy them. Like we saw with Douglas Luiz, and then suddenly he's only getting X amount of minutes per game and what have you. So this, if this is correct, is the type of deal I think makes it even better than a straight buy, because Forest can play him all season depending on what the clauses are in the contract. And then if he's a dud or if he's Liam Delap, then we can send him back to Chelsea. So that's one thing. So I'm happy with the Liam Delap deal. I don't even mind if it is a perm because I think he definitely works under Glasner. The one I don't understand, and this came from, I think it was John Percy yesterday, is the Murphy one from Newcastle. Now, I've said, and I've been on Loaded Mag and the Newcastle channels, and I've said they disrespect Murphy because I think Murphy has been an excellent servant for Newcastle, and I still stand by that. I would happily take Murphy out Forest if Forest was still playing like a 4-2-3-1. I think Murphy outperformed Elanga for Newcastle last season. But if someone can explain to me where Murphy's going to play in a Glasner system where you got 3 centre-backs, 2 wing-backs, 2 CMs, 2 10s and a striker, I would love to know, because he has played as a right wing back for Eddie Howe last season in a couple of games. I can't even remember who they were against. Like, pops into my head, I think maybe it was like West Ham or something, where he went to a back 3. But it wasn't West Ham. But whenever he went into a back 3 formation, they were rubbish in there. So I don't understand the logic behind this one. Also, his age. I am going to be ageist on this one. He's now 31. I think he'll be 32 around February time. Like, that's not the profile we need. Now, what you find whenever someone is over 30, you always hear that if someone's trying to glaze the signing, they'll say experience. Looks like Chelsea fans are saying about, oh, Jordan Henderson, he's going to bring the experienced head. He's going to cheerlead with his pom-poms from the sidebars. That's all Murphy would be. And that's not something we can build on. I don't understand the logic of the signing in terms of how he fits into the team. That's confusing me a lot. But Percy's saying Forest are linked with him. The other interesting thing is that the Thiago links were legit. So when we brought that to you, Percy's confirmed that as well, that Forest were interested in Thiago, big admirers of him, but he's not going as far to say that there was a £70 million bid put in. So that looks like it was maybe a bit more stretched from, I forgot who it was, from the other day that we shared with you. So it looks like now Delap is going to be Forest's front runner and the one they're focused on. And I wouldn't be surprised if this deal got done quickly. I think the big stumbling block here is, do Chelsea concede to a loan deal with an option, or do Forest concede and go for a straight up transfer? Now, what could happen is if Forest crack, should we say use the word crack, and go for a straight up buy, then they could negotiate with Chelsea saying, look, we wanted a loan deal. You're valuing him at 50, which is stupid. Let's meet at 35, 30 plus 5 in add-on, something like that. Or Chelsea could say to Forest, right, we'll go for a loan deal, but we want 5 million up front, and then we want guaranteed 40 for him if the deal goes through, so 45 in total. Honestly, either way in those deals, I'd be happy with. I've not got a problem with it. But the Murphy one doesn't make sense to me positionally. So that's my issue with it right now. So this one I think will get done. It needs to get done and it needs to move quickly. We're running out of time. There's a week left. This time next week, in a few hours' time, transfer window is closed. Forest need to get players through the door. So get your thoughts on those two down in the comments below. If you can explain Murphy to me, I'll owe you. All right, so let's move on and quickly touch on tonight's game. And of course, we'll be doing the watch along with you guys. So if you're not going down to the game, make sure you tune in. I think the tickets are like 15 quid for tonight. So a good opportunity. If you can get down, get yourselves down there, of course. Now, I just want to go through the team sheet and what we do know. We know Morgan Gibbs-White is out injured. Glasner says it's not a serious one and it'll be nip-tuck for Liverpool. Yates is still out and Savona is still out. The question is, how strong will Glasner go with the game tonight? Now, I don't know is the answer, because historically what Glasner does in cup matches is not change things from the Premier League at all. And I don't see a reason that he should weaken the team. Yes, we got Liverpool on Saturday, but that's still 4 or 5 days away. I'm sorry, man. If the players are tired after game week 1, then we need some new players. So I don't think there needs to be a weakening of the team. I think we will see some slight changes, maybe some borderline players who didn't play starting. I think one that's for sure going to play will be Dominguez. I think he'll come in for McAtee, and I hope he comes in for McAtee, would be my answer there. And I think Schlager will start as well. In terms of the front three, Gibbs-White we know is definitely out. So how's it going to work here? He has to bring in Callum Mwendo. Callum Mwendo either goes into the 10, which I think he will, but I would prefer to put Jesus in the 10 and Callum Mwendo up front. I don't think he'll risk Chris Wood, and I don't know what's going on with Hutchinson, if he's fully fit yet or not. I think he'll be available, but I don't know if they'll risk a start with him. What I would like to see Glasner do is give Ola Aina a rest. That's a nice way of saying dropping him. Put Nico Williams on the right-hand side, or maybe even Eric Da Silva, and then bring Nets in on the left. Now, the other thing I expect, because Glasner talked about how he maybe should have brought Murillo off a little earlier, either Murillo starts or he's rested and Morato comes in, I think, and gets a few minutes. So I think it'll be, I say a minor change like that. I'd rather not see Morato playing. And I think Diamande will start with the eye of, after 60 minutes, 70 minutes, he gets pulled off to be rested and rotated, because he will need to start against Liverpool. Ndoye, I'm trying with him. But who is there really to replace him? The only other option you could do is take Ndoye out, bring Callum Hudson-Odoi in, for example, and maybe give him some minutes there. But is he fit enough to start? I don't know. I'd probably just go with that team. I don't like the combination of McAtee and Sangare. I think Schlager and Dominguez is the better combination, in my opinion. Obviously, I'm willing to change that as we progress through the season and see how things play out. But that's kind of the team I would go with. And like I say, traditionally, Glasner doesn't really change it up too much between Cup and League Cup matches. Even under Palace, when they were deep in the Conference League or the FA Cup the season before, he still would try and get that same 11. So I expect to see something similar from him. How do I see it going? Forest need to have a cup run. If we could get deep in the League Cup, who knows, maybe even win it. We've won it plenty of times before. This is a free ticket into Europe. Yes, it would only be the Conference League, but we need European football next season. So I think Glasner will take this one seriously. I'm going to take it seriously, and I'm not a massive fan of the League Cup. I prefer the FA Cup, if I'm being honest with you, but we don't need to worry about that till January. And the bottom line is, Forest are playing one game a week without these, plus these cups. So if we go out of the cup tonight, we've got nothing until January. So go and beat Leeds. And let's get some revenge for that dire performance we put in on Saturday. So I don't know what I predict. I'm going to say 1-0, 2-1 after extra time. I think if there is extra. No, these ones just go straight to penalties. I can't even remember the rules on it. I'm going to go 2-1 Forest. But let's hope for some good play. Get your predictions in down below. We'll see you for the watch along tonight. There's so many videos to catch. If you want more content to go catch yourselves up on, so go check out the channel. I'll leave a couple of them here for you to check out. Make sure you've liked, make sure you've subscribed, and we'll see you later on. Come on, you Reds.